Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace, and hang on to your children. It was hard to get on this morning. I had these messages that uh, told me to log out at different places, and so I was able to somehow do it. Anyway, um, my show producer was logged out too, so it is hard, I guess. When things like this go up and you're a show producer. I have a show producer, Grace. She's a wonderful person and she helps me keep my show going. So, anyway, um, uh, I'm live. I think I am. Hopefully, you all are hearing me okay. I don't have any comments yet from anybody. And I have one person in the room, so someone's watching me. Hello, that one person in my room. Welcome. Now, I'm here to talk about a government entity that I call the Child Protection System. Every county has a system to protect our children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification when it's necessary. Children are not supposed to be taken freely without them being in danger or some type of threat to them. It is very, very hard to understand CPS. I don't know how many times I talk about them, but it is hard. And I try to make my shows different and so forth um, because they are interactive, meaning that you, the listeners, make up the show. And so I encourage you to join me and interact with this live stream. Coming here, taking notes is great. You found me on Facebook, Fighting CPS, and you're linked here. There are 7 Facebook rooms that will link you into this YouTube room. And I'm broadcasting on StreamYard. So, let me see. So, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're here. And I've been doing this now for 19 months. I come on here twice a day. I'm on the mornings, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. And then on the weekend, I'm on at 8 a.m. And then in the evenings, I'm on at 7 p.m. all 7 days of the week. And those times are Pacific Standard Times. I'm on the West Coast in California. So if you're on the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead of me. If you're over in England, you're 8 hours ahead of me. If you're in France, you're 9 hours. And if you're in Australia, you're the next day, or in the Philippines, um, 5 hours there. So um, I have a doorbell ring, and I just get scared or chills because I'm not going to answer the doorbell. If you don't know who's ringing at your door, do not answer the door. I don't know how else to tell you that because people have been shot and killed by answering the door. Also, if it's CPS, they want to take your children. They want to search your home. You don't have to open the door. You don't have to listen to them. It's a it's a hard uh, thing by not opening the door. You just do not know. Anyway, um, it could be a salesman too. So, how I usually handle the door situations, I tell my family do not answer the door without the special ring or a knock. With me, it's a series of rings really fast. That's someone I know is a family member at the door. And I'm telling you this, very, very important, because a lot of you have opened the door and opened CPS with your arms or the police. And people have been shot 5 times in the chest. This poor airman, I keep thinking about him on May 3rd of 2024, a year ago, was killed because he opened the door. He's talking to his fiancee at FaceTime and died on the phone. The sheriff from Gainesville Sheriff Department in Florida mistaken the place as domestic violence. And he was so emotional, scared, I guess, of this man, and took a gun and fired 5 times. He's fired, the sheriff. He's being sued, a civil lawsuit. They're not doing anything to punish him for falsely shooting somebody. So I cannot emphasize the importance of not answering the door. Now we have a person who just came in, and I'm so glad they are here. Looks like I'm having internet problems. I was paused for a second there. But I'll try your best. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father who has fought CPS for 15 years. I too had my 3 children trafficked into foster care, and a lot of harm was done to them. But I also have 5 rules that I've come up with, and I will help you there. I also have an attorney that can fight for your case. All you have to do is talk to me, and I can tell you how you get the attorney. Now, you're in Georgia, and I know that my attorney quoted me a price for Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know what part of Georgia you're in there, for $125,000. Now, you're probably saying, wow, well, that is a retainer. Like, he's in LA County, and his retainer in LA County is $5,000. He's a $500 attorney, but he's worth every penny of it. I hired him. And he has per diem. He has per diem that he has to cover. And it's transportation to get to Georgia, wherever you're at. It's the transportation with a ground transportation to get from the airport to a hotel. They need provided accommodations and food. All he's asking for is airfare, transportation, ground transportation, accommodations, and food. That is per diem. That is added on to his legal costs. Now, that retainer, as the case goes on, will have to be reinvested in there. It's not a final price. It's not a fixed price. It's to start the case. And you know it's probably excessive because you don't have that kind of money. A lot of us, it's like a doctor doing open heart surgery. You don't want a layperson opening up your heart or yourself trying to work on your heart. Can you imagine a plumber cutting open your chest cavity and taking the pumping heart and try to work on it? No, you hire a professional. The only problem is that you usually have medical insurance, or you have car insurance, or you even have pet insurance, a lot of you. But you need legal insurance, and you never know when that's going to happen. A lot of you are low income, and I understand that. I understand that immensely. But what is your question in Georgia, and what city or county are you located, Carrie? I want to help you, and I'm so glad you joined me. Now, I'm here to help you all. I'm very caring and giving, and I will get to the answer that you have the question for. Now, a couple of things I'd like to tell you about. If you want to text me like Carrie's doing, a message, Either a comment or a question should pertain to the Child Protection System, CPS. Please state your first name, your city, or your county, state, and country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from beginning to where you're at. From beginning to where you're at. Now, to text a comment or a question should pertain to CPS. That's really important. We're here to talk about the child protection system, the wrong that they've done to you, or your children have been trafficked into foster care or kidnapped by a rogue CPS entity. Not all of them are bad, but a lot of them are. It's all about money. You probably all question, why is this happening? It's strictly about money. It's a $1 trillion business. Not billions, not millions, but trillions of dollars. It's unlimited money that comes from the federal government right out to the state and from the state to the county. It's free flowing. There's no accountability. There's no board of directors. There's no board of supervisors. There's nobody as a watchdog until we have Doge. Now, President Trump, our new elected president, created Doge. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, this Department of Government Efficiency is spearheaded by Elon Musk, one of the richest people in the United States. And I guess Trump likes him because he's a brilliant young man. He's come up with the SpaceX organization that has reusable rockets. We have wasted so much money of building a rocket that burns up in outer space or comes crashing back to Earth and burns up. He's now developed a rocket that can go to outer space and come back and be reused again. He also has come up with an electric car. And so he's very creative, and that's how he's making his money. And so Trump knows that there is a lot of money that's wasted in the government. That's why we have problems every 6 months or every 4 months, or whenever that is. We don't have enough money to pay Social Security or to pay our military. It's sad, and we have to go to Congress to fix it all the time. Well, he's doing one step further. He's investigating government entities and find out there are people that have been dead for 50 years, they're still getting money. He's found out that people that work at home aren't actually working. They're out playing tennis or golf or surfing. And they're collecting the money. So he is trying to curtail all that. He's coming up, Elon Musk has come up with billions of dollars that could be saved. And so we should be able to balance and make our payments. It's sad enough about Social Security being used by the government. Your Social Security was meant to help out the government, well, in a roundabout way. It's supposed to be there so that you don't spend it. So when you do retire, the government has not have to take care of you. It's supposed to be enough money. And so that's what Social Security is all about. But the problem is the government takes that money and collects interest. And they should only use the interest on that money. But instead, they use all the money. They will use money to pay another bill or this. It's terrible. So they are investigating social services. And in turn, they'll investigate the trillions of dollars being made in the child protection system, not to help out children, not to help out families. It's really sad because I've talked to over 1,500 some people in 23 countries, including the United States. It's a worldwide epidemic. It's happening bad in Australia. Is happening in Indonesia or Bangladesh or India. These are countries that have texted to me. From Africa, I have Liberia in the north on the west coast. I have Sudan by the Red Sea on the east part of Africa. I have the newest country, Republic of Congo, mid on the west coast of Africa. I have Rwanda near Lake Victoria. I have Mozambique south of there near um, the island off the coast called Madagascar. And then I have South Africa, several provinces there. I have a woman named Kita who calls in every so often at her expense. It's expensive to call from Africa. And lately, Africa is really, there's been really a lot of changes that are taking place that I don't know what to believe. The latest thing is supposedly the white African farmers are being murdered and slaughtered. And so President Trump is trying to save them by giving them amnesty in the United States because their farms are being taken away of. Anyway, I'm digressing. We need to pertain to CPS. I can't really tell you what's going on with my CPS. They tell me they're still investigating neglect and abuse, not with me. Understand that. They're going to keep secretive, Carrie. They're going to seek secretive. Now, if you want to be a guest on my live stream, please email our show producer, Grace at VincentWDavis.com, with the date and time you want to be on our show. The date and time you want to be on our show. And so I am here to help you, Carrie, and I know what you're trying to say is you don't know what's going on. You do not know what's going on. Now, if you email me, you could be a guest. I can take up 9 of you. That's the difference between calling in and being a guest. Being a guest, I can take 9 of you. Calling in, I can only talk 1 at a time. But email to Vincent one of my 14 live streams. You can just say, I want to be Bob's Sunday morning show, or Bob's Friday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show, or Bob's Monday morning show. That's all you have to say. And then she'll give you a link to StreamYard that you can get on. You don't have to worry about getting to StreamYard. She'll give you the link. They'll take you there. And if you get knocked off, use that link again. And she'll tell you what you can do and not do on the show, like no no eating, smoking on the show. We do not use the names of children, the social workers, or the judges. She will tell you other things, and she'll help you with your audio and visual. But that's really great. Another way to get back on too, is to get back, is to interact with this live stream, is to call in to my number. Now I'm live. That means you can call me at 626-698-0990. Now, if you want to talk about CPS in general or want some help, the hours that you call in are my show times. You can talk to me on the show about your case. You can start from the beginning because everything you say will help others. When you call in, you're helping yourself and others, and I'll try to answer your questions. Now, I am on the phone from 8 to 10 in the morning and from 11 to 1 in the late morning, afternoon. And there I'm trying to help out people hire Mr. Davis. So if you're interested in a real attorney, somebody that is professionally and licensed in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, Vincent W. Davis is the man. He has 39 years of fighting CPS and gotten children back. He'll go anywhere there is to help you with your case. He's a real fighter. He has a lot of success stories. The other day, he had a big case in Sacramento, California, and won. A lot of the child protection systems use his videos, his training videos for their social workers, because that's the man they said you got to avoid, because he is very good at what he did. He helped me get my 2 boys back, and he caught the social worker committing perjury. She lied. She lied big time, and he caught her. So I know he's good. I've dealt with him firsthand. Yes, he is expensive. I had to sell my house I worked 45 years for. I did a quick sell of my house and gave him the money to hire him, because for a year I was trying to court-appointed attorneys, which were a waste of time. Even if you fire them, they're still a waste of time. Because why? They're hired by CPS, they work for CPS, and they're not going to fight your case. CPS keeps them loaded with 30 or more clients, so they don't have time. And they certainly want an easy way out, so they're going to settle for anything. So CPS hopes you take their attorneys. You see, there is a constitutional right that anytime you're in a legal matter, you're entitled to representation. And if you can't afford one, the court will appoint you one. The problem is, when they appoint you one in CPS cases, it's terrible. You lose your children, you lose yourself. And I know how horrible it is with the investigation going on. Now, CPS was created about 62, the one that you see now. It's gone through metamorphosed states. So in the history of protecting our children, which goes back to the early colonial days in the 1600s, they've divided CPS, the Protect for Children, into 3 parts. From 1600 to 1875 is part 1. And there have been numerous cases in there where a shopkeeper was abusing a child and a mother there. So, there are cases where they stepped in to protect. Our children have been abused for a long time. So there is a necessity for protection of our children from abuse and neglect. But what's happened is it's gone overboard, and CPS has become corrupt in a lot of areas. Not all CPS is bad. But I know by talking to over 1,500 people or more, they have told me the same thing that we all have. Our children were unnecessarily taken, our constitutional rights were violated, our civil rights were violated. And it's no matter where you're at. Now, as I say, I have all these countries. I mean, I'd mentioned Africa and the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and Libya have been called in here. And I mentioned India and Bangladesh and Indonesia and many countries in South Africa. And then in Europe, I've had England, Scotland, Wales, Denmark, and Sweden. And I had a very disastrous lady from England that was crying in her garage talking to me here where I live in Surf City, USA, on the west coast of California, 3 blocks from the ocean. And I was trying to help her. You see, people that call in here or they're on my show are at their last resorts. They really are. Now, you just have a caseworker. Okay, how this starts, and maybe I need to explain it in layman terms, is that this entity that we call the Child Protection System, and it has so many different names, that's why I don't want to go there. Some of them are called the Child Protection Services, some are called Department of Children's Services, some are called Department of Family and Services, some is called the Cabinet. And so it's too hard with the 300, 400, or 1,000 names of the Child Protection System. So I just say CPS. Any agency, a government agency that's out there that is mandated to protect our children from neglect or abuse. and do family reunification, they need to take away the children, or a child protection system, a government entity. It wasn't until 1974 when they made laws that could be enforceable with children. Now, I was telling you about the history, part one, up to 1875. They used 1875 because there was a society. Society started to take the protection of our children in the 1875s. But also 1875 marks a very rough time for the first immigrants. People talk about immigrants all the time. We have people who are transporting from Africa, supposedly white Africans that have lost their families and been brutally murdered. We have immigrants that we are deporting that illegally came into the country back to the prisons that they came from. We had an open border for 4 years after the first presidency of Donald Trump. But he has closed the border, and he's serious about illegal aliens. You need to have the rights to come into this country. Our country has always been that way. From the days of Jamestown to the people that came over the Mayflower to the settlements of the Europeans. Now, this first immigration I was talking about are the Native American Indians. These people, and up in Canada, they're called the First Nation Indians, are the indigenous tribes here, meaning that they are the natives. They were the first. They came over the land bridge to settle North America and work its way down. People migrated. They say that the migration started in Africa and people went around the world. They spread east through Asia, through India and Asia and China, through Japan and so forth. And a lot of them ended up sailing. Like in Africa, they have things called the raw expeditions, where they made reed boats that could sail from Africa to South America. And then they have the Kon-Tiki expeditions, where they have, people from South America settle the South Pacific. Europeans the penal colony used to be a penal colony in Australia. That's how the Australians were first found. But they have original indigenous people called the Aborigines, and they're in a horrible time. One of the countries that is called in was an indigenous tribe called the Maoris. They're typically called the All Blacks because that's a great rugby team. But the Maoris, with their powerful war dance called the Havaka, they were calling me about problems there. Their people have CPS problems. So the world is a migration of people. Everybody migrated. But the United States wants a uniform immigration. People that come here that want to live and learn the basics, learn the English, which is the common language of the United States. Yes, we're multicultural, but we're not like Canada where they speak French and English. We speak English. That is the language here. Now, we do enjoy culture things like Little Saigon. When Vietnam was overrun, South Vietnam, Saigon moved into Little Saigon in California. We have Chinatowns. We have where the Asians that were brought at first to build railroads, to help build railroads. Now, we have someone coming in here. Good morning. This is the live stream here with your host, Bob Pace. How can I help you?
Hey, Bob. This is Carrie. I was leaving messages on your live just then.
Hi, Carrie. You're from Georgia. I'm so glad you called in, Carrie.
Yeah, I was calling to tell you that it is kind of confusing about my case right now, because first it was an ongoing case about something else, and now yesterday they caught me. They came here with the police without a warrant and just came to my house without a warrant, and I was very confused about this.
I know you are. You sound like you are a young mother. How many children do you have?
I have 3 boys, and this is like the second time I've been on defense case down here, but no one's really trying to support the issues about the false allegations that's against, not me, because it's not against me, it was against my baby's father.
Right. Are you married?
You know,
Are you married?
we are engaged, our wedding going.
Right, understand. So you guys
Yeah.
were your lovers, boyfriend, girlfriends, whatever. You have 3 children. Is that the same father for all 3 children?
No, just the last one.
Just the first one?
No, just the last one.
Okay, so you have a different father for the other 2. Are the fathers different for the other 2?
They're not in their life right now.
Yeah, that's what I know, because CPS is going to want to know. That's why I'm asking that. So you have 3 children.
I totally understand what because she asked, because at first she did ask all them questions, and then she was saying to me, saying that she wanted to ask my kids questions, and I let her do that, but then she said it was a case on top of a case with the same stuff that's going on, so I did everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm cooperating with them.
Right.
But they is not telling
Yeah,
me,
you're led to believe that because you don't know about CPS. You don't know it's a money-making thing. They're going to take advantage of you, and you're probably were you offered a attorney by them? Did they offer you a court-appointed attorney?
No, they didn't offer anything. They did that last time. All they want me to do is talk to my supervisor, cooperate, so they can investigate the allegations that was being called to them. That's what they were telling me.
So what are the allegations? What was the first time you're involved with the child protection system? What was the first allegations?
The first allegation
against the father.
Open income. No, my son got in an accident and he went to the hospital with an accident, and they sent some marks on him, and they told me, they asked me questions how he got the marks. I explained to them the best I can, but the doctors said that it was unexplained marks on him, and that's when the defense got involved. But that case was closed. They closed it this year. That was the last case. They closed it this year. That was the last year case. But they recently just they closed it this year.
All right, before we go to the second case, we need to keep in mind that even though they closed the case, unless you get a letter from them that says the case is closed and you have your records expunged, they're going to keep it on record. So if another incident happens, they will quickly see that case, and then they'll get more serious at it. Now, the reason why the doctor called CPS on you is because they're required by law. They're a mandated reporter to report abuse or neglect. And they're trained and do that. Not only doctors, nurses, any of the health medical profession, your educators, your teachers, your counselors.
Even teachers.
Yeah, even teachers and policemen and firemen. Anybody that professionally works out with children, they're mandated reporters for the child protection system. They're required by law to report a suspected. Right, they're going to do it by law. That's not your fault. That's not your fault. But what you have to do is a signal that you need to get yourself an attorney. It's just like if you're going to do open heart surgery, you're going to get a doctor that works on your heart. If you're going to have a baby, you're going to get a doctor to help you deliver the baby. But the problem is most people don't have insurance for lawyers. They have insurance for medical. They have insurance for their car. They have insurance even for their pets. But a lot of people don't have legal insurance. And that's where the big problem is right away, when you get involved with a government entity, whoever it may be, you should right away contact a lawyer. The problem is there's a lot of bad lawyers and there's a lot of good lawyers, and it's hard to find out. You need to get the right kind of lawyer. And the lawyer for CPS, his background is juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those three areas of law are very important to get that kind of individual. That way you can ask questions. And what they will do is that they will defend you and protect you. But if you don't have the money, and it's a very expensive thing, as I was telling you earlier, Carrie, that for my attorney to come out to Georgia, it's a $125,000 retainer to start off with. And he's $500 an hour. And I don't know if you and your man have that kind of money at the time. So what you have to do is use what's called a court-appointed attorney, which usually are bad things. I tried it and it didn't work for me. So you have to be careful. So with your first case, they dropped it because maybe they couldn't come up with the proof or anything. But you have to be forewarned. Once you're involved in CPS, unless you have your case expunged and taken off your record, it will follow you. It'll follow you. For 5 years, I had to fight CPS making false allegations. It was by a lay person. It was my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my wife's mother and father, 3 sisters, brothers would call in once a week. And they did this for 5 years. I had to fight them off. And then finally, CPS got frustrated and called the police. Now, I did not know that you can say no to police and no to social workers. The best thing to answer the police, if you happen to see them outside, is tell them I need to get a hold of my attorney. I will get back to you. What is your name? That's all you have to say to them. You tell them, because this is a legal matter, I need to talk to my attorney and have my attorney present. That's what you need to do. If they come knocking at the door, just today, someone knocked at my door, I don't answer the door. I figure if it's important, they will contact me by email or by phone if they know me, or by U.S. mail. They'll send me a letter. Answering the door is a lazy way of opening up Pandora's box. Anything can happen in there. Pandora's box is, I'm referring to the Garden of Eden, where Eve opened up this terrible box, let all this badness come in there, and God sent Adam and Eve, naked into the world, ashamed now. They now had all kinds of guilt and stuff. But anyway, by opening up the door and allowing the policemen to come in, they're going to look around. Same thing with social workers. The only reason why social workers have the police is for protection. But the police are intimidators. They're usually dressed in their battle fatigues, meaning they have their armor plates, they have their boots and guns and everything, and they're very intimidating to you. If you don't answer the door, you don't have to deal with them. Now, if they have a warrant, which is a legal document that has to be issued by a judge, then you have to follow the directions on the warrant. But if you don't see the warrant, you can wait, because eventually they're going to come out again. And so it's...
Well, Mr. Bob, they broke every rule to that, because when CPS came in here to talk to me, the police came right inside my house without a warrant.
Right. Not only that, they came in because you allowed them in, because you opened the door. By opening the door, you gave them permission to enter your home.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. Just like you didn't know all that stuff, Mr. Bob.
I didn't
know all that stuff either. And all this stuff is new to me. All this stuff is new to me, and this is why I'm trying to do laws. This is why I'm trying to get laws on Georgia now, because if they threaten to take my kids again, my kids are still in my custody, that's just a problem for me, because they still investigating all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, they are trying to do that. But you can tell them, you don't even have to tell them. If you don't have money for an attorney, you don't have to tell them that. You can tell them you have an attorney and you'll get back to it. It'll give you some time to maybe look for a pro bono attorney, or look for an attorney that will help you out based on your budget, based on your budget.
What they basically did, because the only thing I did last time with my caseworkers, everything that she asked, I answered, and she reported to her supervisor. The supervisor took it to court, and she talked to the judge about it. I'm not present with none of that stuff. And then whatever they can't find with the investigation
Well,
say,
here's
well,
another
the case
thing
is
too.
closed.
If
And they
you
go,
if you put your kids at your cousin's house, they'll come to your cousin's house. Your cousin won't know better and turn your kids away. So do not put your children in other people's homes. Do not send your kids off. Be very careful of them. Hang on to them because they're going to try to do all kinds of things.
They still,
I have,
that's what I'm saying. They still,
right,
yes, it's about, they still
right.
live, yes, it's about, they still in my custody, but they just trying to find stuff to put against me. I already have a neglect stuff going on with my
Right.
first case, and I'm still trying to figure out how I got neglect when I explained everything to them when closing my case, and now
Well,
it's
maybe,
neglect abuse.
what was your
that I'm-
husband? I mean, excuse me, what
that
was
I'm
the
doing.
biological father accused of? What was he accused of?
They said the cases wasn't against me. It was about a phone call that was made to them about neglect abuse, and they came to ask questions. He wasn't even present to ask questions like that, and for he can offend himself. All they wanted me to do is cooperate. That's what they told me.
Well, the reason why
and
there's
I'm doing that, but
yeah.
no one.
You are doing that, but the problem is the more you talk to them, the more CPS is like a fisherman. They're dangling a bait to you. They make a lot of promises, but they won't keep them. They want to trap you. They got this bait out.
Yeah, I totally understand. That's what I'm saying. I totally understand that before with my first case, but since it's my second case, they are trying to take my kids for something that's not true.
It's all about money, by the way.
I'm not trying to allow.
It's all about money. For instance,
I know, because don't take it offensive, Mr. Bob. With black children, black children always get sent to foster care.
They do.
50%.
50% of the cases are black children. It is really a shameful thing they take advantage because of the color of your skin. The Native American Indians are another culture. Now. It is now saying 75% of Indian children are taken, 50% of black children. It's terrible. It is terrible. I know that. And I think that's wrong. I have several families from Africa.
And I feel like they only attacking me. I feel like they only attacking me because I don't know the law.
That's true. That's true. No one is. That's something that should be done early on. You should, during your schooling, you should have a special class. I always feel this is important, an hour long every time you're in school. One of your classes are about things that are day-to-day things that you don't know about, like CPS, marriage, divorce, sex, how to open up your checking account, how to do a savings account, how to buy a car, how to stop bullying, how to not talk to strangers. These are special skills that should be incorporated every day you're schooling, but they don't have them. They do talk about them briefly, but they need to devote a whole hour for these life skills. These life skills, that's what you learn when you go to college. People think, oh, you go to college, you get a better job or to learn academics. No, you go to college to learn life skills because you're suddenly faced with living with a group of people your own age and you guys are learning together. So it's important that you have these life skills. And one of those skills so important should be taught early on when you're in middle school is called CPS because kids have a tendency to be mad at their parents and they use CPS thinking that they will get their way. And that is wrong. That is wrong. And children got to be taught that anybody that talks to them should not say anything. The best thing to do is to be quiet. And you can say very nicely, I love my mom and dad, and I want to be with my mom and dad. You got to educate your children because CPS will twist and turn and put your children against you. And I also
and I feel that's what's going on right now. That's why I'm trying to stop it. I feel like they're using my middle child that is 6 years old against me. They're using my middle child that is 6 years old.
All they have to do is get one of your children to do that. Yes. In fact, I lost my girl of 12 years old because the social worker was retaliating because we caught the social worker committing perjury. She lied on the witness stand. And she was under oath. And we caught her. And she said to us parents, "You're never going to see your daughter again." So she forced, are you still there? Hello? Someone's trying to hit your button there. Are you still there? Carrie? Carrie, are you still there?
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Sometimes, I hate to say it, I sometimes get the bad feeling that there are people, outside forces. I had a person that I knew about, I never met her, named Mrs. Schaefer from Georgia. She was a 75-year-old lady that was fighting CPS, and she was murdered. Strange things are happening because they don't like people fighting CPS, because CPS is corrupt. Not all of it, but enough of it. And I challenge anybody listening, if you're a social worker working in the CPS, the Child Protection System, please call me. I've only had one person in my 19 months of doing this twice a day. Her name was Carol from Maryland, and she talked about how she did things in her CPS system there in Maryland. And so I've had several foster care mothers call in. I have a really good one named Betty Jo from Montana, who is a foster care mom, and she does not want to adopt children. She has adopted a little boy that lost its parents, that tried to be put with family members, but no one wanted the little boy. And she took the boy, and the boy loves Betty Jo. Betty Jo is white, the little boy is black, and the boy is going to be adopted by Betty Jo. So there are good people out there. I feel I'm a good person because I spend my 1 hour twice a day. That's 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 hours a week I spend of my life for 19 months to help you all try to avoid, to help you all fight CPS, to help you maybe get an attorney, to understand the laws, to understand how to file a 388 or how to do a 180 hearing, or with Indian children, how the Indian Child Welfare Act protects Indian children of 1978. It took them almost 100 years. There was almost 99% of Indian children taken from Indians. They never returned to their families. They died in never knowing their Indian family. And I know that the next group of individuals have been the black people. The black people were used as slaves, and that was a bad thing in our history. That's wrong to use any kind of color, any kind of person as a slave. Slaves have been used forever. It's always the people that are not educated, low income, that are worked as slaves, and it's bad. And what CPS is doing is they're manipulating, and even the black people that are social workers and CPS have turned corrupt. It's all about money. They get bonuses, they get incentives. It's $1 trillion business. So what you're doing is you're fighting a very corrupted, and you're not the first person in Georgia. I have a lady, Danielle Watt, who's a white lady that was incarcerated. She served her time, she got out, and she was trying to get her son when she got out. I think he was 17, but he was in a special place that he was transported through the Interstate of Compact Placement for Children, ICPC, from Georgia to Texas. And then he was lost about. He's a special needs child. And so when he turned 18, he wanted to come home to his mother, but he couldn't. They kept another year. She had to fight almost 2 years to get her son so that she can get not custody, but guardianship. Because when you're over 18 and your special needs, you may need guardianship. And so she get guardianship of her son. And her son now is living with her in Georgia, along with her brother who's special needs. And she takes care of those two individuals. That's a lot of sacrifice for a woman that made some bad mistakes in life. And, you know, they're going to try to take your children. And if you're in the investigation part, you need to get an attorney. You need to get some legal help. And by listening here, I can help you. I can help you what they're trying to investigate. Now they need to tell you there's steps they need to do. Now, you say your 3 children, you still have custody of your 3 children. Are they still with you? Carrie? Carrie Simpson, are you still there? Oh. I've lost Carrie, and I'm not sure when I lost her, but okay. Let me see here if I can get her back. Okay. Jessup. Okay, here it is. Now, welcome, Tony. I've seen you on. I know you're from New York, Tony the Tiger, and your name is Cassandra.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. I lost you, Carrie. This is Bob Pace again with the live stream.
Hey, Mr. Bob, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Who's this I'm talking to? Is this Carrie?
Yeah, this is Carrie.
Okay. I'm sorry if I was rambling on about things and I lost you. I don't know if
Yeah, it's a poor connection where I'm at right now. The phone just disconnected. I had to wait till they put the line back up to talk to you because they over there fixing. Because they had a little accident right there and a car hit the pole and it disconnected me. They over there fixing it right now. I only got like 2 bars, so hopefully we don't get disconnected again.
Yeah.
But Mr. Bob, you know,
it's okay.
I just when I first experienced CPS, they already was doing me dirty already, and now that I'm on a still ongoing case, I just wanted to know basically the law more so I could be prepared next time my supervisor, my caseworker come here. Because how I feel right now, I need a new caseworker because she already lied into my face about what was going on. And she's new. I'm thinking that this might be her first time. She don't know what she's doing. And right now, everything that they're trying to investigate and everything I already had told her, she using that against me. And like I said, this is why I was looking up what I could do from now on out to not say or do anything to make them think anything that's going on in my household. Because everything that they do have is false allegation. But since I didn't know that no one supposed to been came to my house with the police and me letting them in for them to take advantage of everything that I didn't know at first, all I can do now is basically just sit here and wait till they do their part and do their job. I feel like right now I shouldn't talk to them about anything other than my kids. If there's nothing going on with my kids as far as they concerned, I feel like I shouldn't say no more to them until they can like investigate anything that they feel like, whatever. But knowing them, they probably use whatever I already said against me, but it's not true. None of the stuff that I was saying to them is true. But when I'm saying the stuff that was called on me is not true.
Well, what you can do is don't talk to them as much as you can. Like simple answers, yes, no answers. And then, and if they ask you, if you don't, yeah, right. You see, if you don't have an attorney, you're going to have to be appointed one. And that's what you need to ask them. I need a court-appointed attorney.
Next time she come here, I'm going to say I'm going to need an attorney. So next time she get here, I'm going to tell her I'm going to need an attorney. Because they ain't doing their job right.
Right. Well, not only that, you have to not let them in your home. Meet at McDonald's or Starbucks or the library. There you can document and take video and audio of your disgust. They're going to sit there saying, no, you cannot. In a public place, you can. And that's why I'm saying always meet them at McDonald's or Starbucks or the library. You tell them that I can meet with you in a private room in the library, or I can meet with you at Starbucks. We can sit outside at a table, or we can meet at McDonald's. Those are three places. I think you have a Starbucks or a library or McDonald's there. You should not be meeting at your home because they will look around and try to find something. They're in what's called investigation. They don't have a solid case. Now, the second time around, what are they accusing you of? Are they accusing you of abuse or neglect or both?
They're not accusing me. They're accusing
your husband.
their father.
Yeah,
the case is not even against me, but since it's with my kids, they want me to cooperate.
Right. And you can cooperate to a basic point. You can mention that you have an attorney, you're trying to get funds. You can stall them, by the way. You can say, I have an attorney, I'm trying to get funds, I'm talking to him, and he says to listen, to take notes, to document everything. And if you can appoint me a court-appointed attorney, I want to use that person. Now, the problem is the court-appointed attorneys are so busy, they won't have time to meet with you outside of court. They're going to show up at the time you have your hearing. And they're not going to work for you unless you kick them in the seat of their pants and make them work for you. They think it's a free ride.
Mr. Bob, I do want to ask, do this, what you telling?
Okay, I hate to tell you, it's 23 countries, all 50 states I've talked to. There are pockets of rogue CPS. Whether you're on the Rosebud Reservation, the Lakota Sioux, or you're in Oklahoma, or you're in Pennsylvania, or in Massachusetts, or in Canada, in Maine, Ontario, Vancouver, I've spoken to a lot of Canadians. I've spoken to many Africans, and these are Black Africans in Africa. I've talked to Liberia and Sudan, and Republic of Congo was the latest one. And these are all where there's civil rights going on, where there's civil riots, where people are being killed, not because of their color, because of the class of people they are. You have the farmers, you have the people that work in the cities, you have poor, and the rich are always trying to do this. It's sad. I mean, you look at the country of India and Pakistan fighting with each other. They're the same color. They have a difference, maybe a little bit of religion, but they're the same religion. It isn't about religion. It isn't about color. It's about classes of people. One class is thinking they're more superior than the other class. And that's what they do with the Black people. The white people, and I guarantee a lot of Black social workers are against them. And why? Why? That's wrong. They need help. CPS is supposed to give you help.
I totally understand what you're saying, Mr. Bob, but I totally agree with what you were saying earlier. Yeah. It's all about money.
Yes.
And money is rule of all people.
Yes, it is.
It
is. That's why when my case started, I had worked 45 years from my home. It was a beautiful home, my forever home. And I quick sold it. I don't have resources to ever get it back again. I don't know if I ever get hired because I'm at 75 years old and people don't want me. They don't want a dinosaur. I feel I'm still forever young. I still like I'm in my 40s and I can still give someone 30 years of time to work hard for them if they pay for what I'm expected. That's my income that I've earned based on my knowledge, based on what I do. I work in the area of civil engineering, but also have many other backgrounds. And right now, I am trying to help others with a very bad case of the Child Protection Agency that's gone rogue, that now is after them because they want money.
The government, and anything that involving the government, people be losing their way.
Yes.
So, like, if you get a job with the government, you're gonna have to abide by their rules.
Right.
I'm not talking against no one. You do anything to basically earn money to take care of your family, but the
Right,
that's
they
not how
do.
you
They
was
do.
raised
They
up.
do because they can't get enough, and the more they get. I noticed my clock time. It's now 11 o'clock, and I go from 10 to 11. It's 11:12. I started late because we had a technical difficulty with SteamYard that I use. But I do want to thank you. I also want to address two other people in here. Cassandra, um, I know who you are. You're from Otsego, New York, and you're Tony the Tiger. And I know that your son was taken without a warrant and without telling me. I know he was taken from your cousin's house. Now, Shay, hard reader, I need an update before something happens to disappear. We try to keep good language in here, please. And I have no idea where you're from, Shay, hard reader, if you can tell me. Now, Cryptid UI, why are we fighting against CPS? I'm not Vince Davis. I'm Bob Pace. And you are new here. I know that why we're fighting. We're fighting CPS because they're corrupt, the corrupt ones. I had a terrible case. That's where we're fighting. Cryptic UI, where are you from and what is your CPS case? And further, Cassandra says, my son is home better than was after CPS wants to pretend they had nothing to do with the kidnapping. Looking to do classes as a paralegal and continue to defend myself. My family court says my lawyer is Mrs. Green, left her voicemail, threatened to call the state bar. And you need to report her if your attorney is not working for you. Cassandra says did paperwork to remove her as my lawyer 2 weeks ago. Good. That was her court appointed attorney. I want to call in a video or voice before the end. Well, I hope you do. I have another show tonight at 7 p.m. You can be on a guest on my show. All you have to do is send an email to grace at vincentwdavis.com. Apparently CPS was just at my door with two cops. You got to make sure that you don't answer the door, even with the police there. I just want to let you, Vince, in the world, I'm still alive. The CPS said to my friend, if I is there, needs to open now. Don't talk. Don't say anything. They will go away. They will go away. And again, I'm not Vince. I'm Bob Pace, and my name is there. And so I want to thank Carrie, who has very extensively told me about, unfortunately, that she has a second incident where her children are being taken because of the children's father. There's something they don't like, the abuse they saw the first time around, the marks on the child. And so all I can say for all you
But
listeners.
yeah, with that, my son got caught riding his bike. He got scratched up drying lead.
Yes,
And they assume that the doctors just assumed that it was more than that, and that's why defense got involved. And I proved to them that that's what it was. Now it's something else going on with neglect, abuse, and it's towards my baby's father.
Well, they don't know. See, they don't know. They want to get more money from your three children. See, they're getting $20,000 a month from the state. The state is sending to the CPS entity, and I don't know what county Jessup is in, but you're somewhere near whatever county. That county is getting rich off your three kids. They're making $60,000 a month. And it does not cost that kind of money to put the kids in foster care or that kind of thing there. They're very abusive of the money things.
That's what I'm saying. What the thing is, what I'm confused about, I have to sign papers for them to do anything that don't. They are still investigating.
The papers you sign is called a safety plan. When you look at the safety plan, you tell them you like time to have your attorney go over it. I'm hoping you can scare them that you have an attorney. Now, if you don't like what's on there, you take a line and strike it out and initial it. You said that you can only agree to what is factual in the safety plan. The safety plan is a list of things you do for family reunification. And so try to do them. I know if they ask you to do a domestic violence class, it takes 52 weeks. It's a program, but do it. If you have to take a parenting class, do it. That's okay. And, if your kids are with kinship, like with a family member, not in foster care, then hopefully that's the case, because you certainly don't want to, but you just do and go along with them. Eventually, they will let your children be returned and the case will be closed. That's when you need to have it expunged.
But my kids, that's what I'm saying. My kids is still in my custody. They're trying to find evidence against.
Right.
That's all they're trying to do.
Well, the best thing to do is say very little. Say very, very little.
Just to make it look bad.
Yeah, they're trying to find something and they don't have something. That's why they're doing it.
They don't have nothing. All they have is a phone call calling them saying that somebody is doing something to my kids, but with that false allegation with them, all they did was wrote it down.
Yeah.
And read with it and ask questions with it. And all I did was pretty much give them permission to do all that stuff to continue. Because like I was saying, everything I told her that happened before they got involved. She used that against me. And
they're going to try to do that. They're going to try to do that because they have nothing. Otherwise, if they had something, if they had something, they would already have your kids in custody and in foster care. But
they don't have nothing. They're just trying to find something. And I like I said, I learned this from my last case down here with them. So it's the same person working on my case with the supervisor wives. But she already, if she knew me for last time, all she has to do is basically, like, I know this mother, I went to her house from last time, and none of this stuff is going on in her household, but no, she's literally trying to drag the issue. That's why I'm telling you what's going on right now. Is she trying to drag it and actually found something now. But I pray that no mother has to go through this with their children. And if they do have to go through this with their children, it's sad that the kids have to be involved with it, because the kids are very confused with what's going on at home. They're thinking, like you was telling me earlier, kids think it's not good in tissues at home, and they think they can go somewhere else.
Right.
They could be
right.
Treated right.
Right.
And I feel like that's what
you don't want to. You tell your kids. You tell your kids. I don't want you to lie, but I don't want you to open up a can of worms. The best thing to do is, if they ask you a question, did your parents harm you? You say no. If they ask you, are you safe at home? Say yes. Use yes, no answers with CPS. Do not.
Okay, I do have another question, Mr. Bob.
Yeah.
When three parents is talking to my kids, do I have to walk out for them to talk to them, or can I stand right there and let them talk to them?
Well, here's the problem. They're going to want to talk to kids alone. You have a right to be present when they're talking to them. You have that right. It's your constitutional right. And they're going to try. They are trying to lead the kids.
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Bob. That's what I am saying, Mr. Bob. If my kids are saying something that I don't know what's going on, I need to know what's going on, instead of them talking to my kids and they switch my kids' words around and make it assuming that something's going on through what my kids are saying. I need to know what's going on. And that's why I asked you that question, because now I'm going to be very sketchy about anybody talking to my kids when I'm not there.
You're right. You are right, because what will happen is that they'll lead the kids on with a leading question and trick them. I'm sorry to tell you, they're unscrupulous people. And if they are unscrupulous people, you can report them to higher ups. You can go to the state capitol in Georgia and talk to the civil rights coordinator.
I really need to know the law in Georgia.
Right.
That's why I really didn't. That's why I text you and said I really need to know the law, because if I could go to someone that's higher than them, I could tell them that they are really harassing me, to be honest.
Well, you have in Georgia, at the state capitol, you have somebody called the civil rights coordinator. You need to do a lot of work on the internet. The internet is a gold mine of how to fight CPS. All you have to do is put your city. Now, is your city Jessup?
I'm in Burke County right now.
Okay, you put in Burke County, Georgia, and then you put the letters CPS, and you'll see all the stuff that'll pop up, be hundreds of things. If you want to refine your search, say how to fight CPS in that county in Georgia, right after the letters CPS. That's how you research it. Try to use Google. Google's the best I've found. Google's the best. And you want to research it and find out how to fight CPS. And if you have the city followed by the state, by the letter CPS, and then write that description all in one search, you will find your answer. You will find your answer. There are a lot of answers. There's also there's free legal help at legal places. You can go and say, I am low income. I need free legal help. I have a CPS matter. A lot of people are scared, but you just say, fine, I'll find somebody else. There's got to be somebody else in your town, and also you got me twice a day. Every time you can call, twice a day, I'm on this live stream. I've done this for 19 months, so you can call me. And some people have, and some people have been on the show for a long time. But I do have to sign off now.
This is my first time doing this.
Yeah,
Mr.
great.
Bob. This
Well,
is my
hope.
first time doing this. I usually just watch videos and listen to other people's problems. But since I feel like that people are telling me right now, especially with the system wise, I don't want to lose my kids for something that's not true.
I know that.
That's what I'm trying to prevent right now.
And I'm glad you did.
I'm
glad you called in, Carrie, but I do have to end my live stream. I'll be on again at 7 p.m. tonight. And God bless you and good luck. And listen to my other videos. And I will see you all tonight. God bless all of you. And keep fighting for your kids. Do not give up. And this is Bob Pace signing.